more options if you were a kid with cable. In the early 90s, there was one character that was cooler than the rest. Forget Uncle Jesse or Zack Morris. The ultimate in early 90s cool was unquestionably Clarissa Darling, the lead character in the Nickelodeon sitcom Clarissa Explains It All. She dressed like a groovy Day-Glo grunge poet, programmed her own autobiographical video games, and kept a pet alligator underneath her window. A whole generation of kids grew up with Clarissa, trying to incorporate her tenacity, quirky style, and irrepressible wit into their day-to-day lives. And, because every old show will eventually become new again, Nickelodeon is developing a revival series with star Melissa Joan Hart returning to the role that made her famous. A new Clarissa series would definitely bring all the 30-somethings back to Nickelodeon in droves. But what about the original series? As of right now, the Darling family is missing from the most popular streaming service platforms, Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon's Prime Video. That's gotta change, especially before the revival's ladder clangs against the window of Nickelodeon's schedule. Looking back, Clarissa Explains It All was ahead of its time in more ways than one. Not only would all of Clarissa's video games be bestsellers in an app store, but Clarissa herself was the prototypical cool girl star. You can totally trace the success of shows like iCarly, Lizzie McGuire, and Hannah Montana back to Clarissa, the show that really proved that kids would respond to a red-take-charge female lead. Clarissa was totally red. She was snarky and observant, obsessed with getting her driver's license, and got to talk directly to the camera, something women rarely get to do. And when it comes to being positive role models, I got to shout out Clarissa's BFF Sam. Growing up, I didn't feel at all weird about watching Clarissa as a boy because 1. It was a great show, and 2. It had Sam. Sam was just as cool as Clarissa. He got to snap his own name into existence in the opening credits, unlike everyone else, but he was also cool with not being the lead. Not only that, Clarissa and Sam were cool with being platonic, you know, the kind of thing some people still think is impossible between men and women. Sam showed boys that it's cool and fun to be friends with outspoken, creative girls. We need more Clarissas and Sams on TV. Nickelodeon aired 65 episodes of Clarissa Explains It All between 1991 and 1994, followed by a failed attempt at a sequel series in 1995 that saw Clarissa move to New York City for an internship at a newspaper. For those 4 years, kids grew up right alongside Clarissa and learned how to stomach tofu and egotistical siblings. Today's kids should be able to do the exact same, especially since the show has aged well, and all the things that didn't are ironically in fashion. But to be selfish real quick, I just want to be able to stream the whole series again before this revival hits, and I know I'm not alone. Your move, streaming services. Where to watch Clarissa Explains It All. Clarissa Explains It All. iTunes. Melissa Joan Hart.